Good show after a lousy weekend of dating comedy. Feeling pretty good about myself. And I've got this joke, and the joke goes, I'm a fat guy, I'm dating a fat girl, that's a fat on fat relationship. The only problem with a fat on fat relationship is that when you fuck, your guts get stuck together. And separating is like ripping a suction cup off of a car window. You gotta. And then I'm doing physical stuff, and it's a real treat. The people love it. The people love fat shaming.
The people that love it.
Yeah, the people. I mean, everybody loves it. So I get this Facebook message from this guy who I'm not friends with. So it gets thrown in like that weird bucket of like other messages. So
yeah, that's where all my Jane Dad messages go.
Yeah. So I noticed
she should get her own episode.
She should get her own showcase.
Man, I love her so much, and I want to hear all about this show that's happening in 2 weeks, and you have to order advance tickets. Did you see the picture for the show? It's like, if you click the link to buy tickets, sorry for interrupting your story, but if you click the link to get tickets, it's just like the border of the poster is just a zoomed up picture of her face.
Oh, hell yes.
$10.
What is she? $10? Who's on this
15,
bill?
It's 15 at the door.
Oh my God. So Jane Dabb, Joe Morgan. Who else is on the bill?
Matt Arnowski's on it. I don't think he's ever met Jane Dabb, so
no,
he did treat.
I don't think he has either.
Oh man, I don't want to tell him about her because I want it to be a surprise.
Yes.
He's just gonna message me after and be like, "Why didn't anybody warn me about this?"
Dude, what the fuck? I was like, nah, dude. That's my Nick Maternowski impression.
Oh man, yeah, Jane Dabb will probably try fucking, and Nick's too nice, so he'll probably fuck it. Nick will be like, "Well, I don't want to be me."
He should impregnate Jane Dabb.
Oh man, so it's him and Joe Morgan, our boy Joe Morgan, our boy Nick Maternowski, and a couple other random folks. $15 at the door.
Your Robert Novaks and
yeah, we love those guys, but like they will be the first to tell you they're not worth paying $15 to see. We're not worth paying $15 to see.
I'm not worth paying any amount of money.
Yeah,
to see.
like we love these guys and we love ourselves a little bit, but not worth seeing money for. Anyway.
Where was I in my story?
Suicide bombed your story. Anyway.
I completely forgot what I was talking about.
You got a Facebook message. It went to your request.
Yes. So it's like, hey man, you know that joke you tell about belly buttons making a suction cup sound? Which, first off, it's not really the joke, but I've been telling that joke since 2009. I just don't want anybody to think you're a joke thief. First off, I popularized fucking fat girls. Nobody did it before me.
Yeah. Nobody.
I would say the first fat girl that got fucked, that was like 2003, and it was by me, okay? So I created the whole having sex with obese women genre. So for anybody to come to me and tell me that they are the originator of that suction cup gag, we've got beef.
But Dave, isn't it fair to say that he says he wrote the joke? It is probably possible that he wrote a similar joke. I mean, the punchline is probably different, but the setup, yeah, I'm a fat guy, I fuck fat girls, you can't say it hasn't been said before. I'm not calling you out.
But if you're going to go, well, that's a similar joke, you shouldn't tell the joke, you have to cancel all of stand-up comedy.
That's true.
Like, there's only so many premises, and I doubt that the setup and the physicality and everything else I do over the course of that joke is the same. And nobody thinks that I'm a joke thief. Nobody has that in their head. Nobody thinks that. I don't have a reputation for doing that.
I can't name too many people in our... Like, nobody really does that. I mean, no one does it enough or prominently enough to be labeled a joke thief. I don't know anybody in our scene, really, who's been labeled a joke thief. I don't know every single person in the scene, but enough to say. Well, I just haven't seen the people be called joke thieves.
There are people that I've seen go up once or twice, and okay, that's like they're just doing bits that they've seen from television, but nobody who's on the circuit regularly. They're at Grumpy Dave's. They're not stealing material because people would find out.
Yeah, I know. The word travels fast. I saw a guy at when I first started doing it at Laugh Inc., I saw some guy do a Dave Chappelle joke, like flat out word for word, and everyone in the crowd was like, all right, we're not going to see you here anymore. You just can't do that. And also, when you got that message from that guy, did you check, was he in fact fat?
Fat enough. I wouldn't call him... I'm taller. So I might have a lower BMI, but I'm a bigger guy than he is.
So whoever weighs the most gets the joke.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, and I'd say you are probably fatter and way more than a lot of people. So I think you deserve the joke.
Most in fact.
You fat fuck.
I'm taking it, dude. That's my bit. What in the fuck, folks? Welcome to the show. This is the
Chris Benoit Weekly Podcast. We need to get a better title so we can actually put this out here. Because,
CBWP. I think it's a good acronym.
At this point, like, we could just talk shit about every comic we like, and no one would ever hear.
Nobody.
But we really should. Like, I love the title. I like Chris Benoit Weekly. I just think we could get a better title, and then we could start putting it on the SoundClouds and the Podbeans, and then no one will listen to it there. You know?
Let's fucking do it this week, dude. Let's put it up this week. Let's go. Are you ready to go live? Do you think that the Chris Benoit Weekly Podcast, which by the way, I think this has been the best episode so far, and we have yet to talk about wrestling.
Which is probably why it's the best.
Oh, absolutely. You think we're ready for prime time? You think we're ready to go to Podbeam and Soundbeam and Zanga Beam and Face Beam?
I think we're ready to take this company public. I think we're about to pull a Facebook. I think we're going to have millions of investors lining up at our doors ready to take our money and suck our cocks.
Here's what we do. We bring in Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. We go to Monday nights.
We give them lucrative contracts. We let them do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, it'd be great. Should we start talking some wrestling? Would that be a good idea?
Yeah, let's do it. What do we got up first?
Let's talk about this Eddie Edwards Sami Callihan feud.
I love it.
Eddie Edwards. I like Eddie Edwards a lot, but he has a face like that guy from Lazy Town.
See, you told me that, and I don't think I'm ever going to get that image out of my head now. I don't think he's the same wrestler now.
He animates so strangely. But I will say, I think for who Eddie Edwards is, which is just kind of a bland work rate guy, I think he's doing a really good job in this feud for what his skill set is, and he's shown a lot of improvement, just showing emotion and showing fire.
Yeah, and like Sami Callihan, he's more famous than he ever has been because of this feud from a botch. And last week they had labeled a fight in the woods, and it was a fight in the woods, and it ended with Eddie Edwards attempting to stab Sami Callihan in the head with an ox skull. And he was doing it like there was blood everywhere. And who interfered, Dave? What happened next?
Tommy Dreamer, the innovator of violence, came out in some truck with a bunch of wah about, and this is all Tommy Dreamer does now. It's like, violence is bad. I don't
like the voice of reason, even though I've hit people with barbed wire.
I'm the voice of reason. I don't like violence. And, so he gets in the way, and Sami Callihan, who is just drenched in blood, and that visual of Eddie Edwards taking that cow skull, or whatever the fuck that was supposed to be, and jamming the horn into Sami Callihan's forehead. That looked great, and it was sick. Like, that was awesome.
And then Sami gets away, and Eddie's like, oh, I was going to kill Sami. I was going to kill him. And he just starts beating the fuck out of Tommy Dreamer in front of his wife.
And he's losing his mind in a way that is so rare in wrestling today, because there's actually, like, character development in this feud. Eddie Edwards was just a bland wrestling man.
And now his sanity is crumbling. Like, he's winning overall the matches he's had with Sami Callihan. Eddie's winning the matches, but Sami is just, like, knocking him down a peg and another peg sanity level, and it's actually showing him. That's really cool.
Week by week, he gets a little more unhinged and a little more wild, and it's actual character development. It's really good.
Yeah, did you see the segment I sent you this week? Eddie comes out with the kendo stick, threatens to beat up a girl with the kendo stick, and then he gets on the mic and he's like, oh, I haven't talked to my wife in 2 weeks. I'm losing my wife. Oh, when Tommy Dreamer comes out, and then Eddie just beats the shit out of Eddie Edwards, or beats the shit out of Tommy Dreamer again, and it's great.
Violence is wrong, Eddie. You can't hit my friends have brain damage. You can't hit them with sticks.
It's great. And Eddie Edwards is just a big meatball, and I kind of like him now. And if it wasn't for this feud, I wouldn't have given two shits about Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, they have given character, they have given some life to Eddie Edwards, who I've always liked Eddie Edwards. I always thought he was clearly a talented guy, and the American Wolves were a great tag team, and they had a good run, and he's a talented guy, but this is the first time from a storyline perspective, from an angle perspective, from a character development perspective, I've ever had the slightest shred of interest in Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, and I hope this ends with possibly Eddie going full heel, maybe joining Sami Callihan. That'd be kind of cool. Like, he just loses his sanity, and he's like, all right, Sami, you win. And Sami just looks like this cult leader-esque. He's broken this man into pieces. Be dope as hell.
That's a possibility, and the cool thing about an angle like this is, like, I don't know how it's going to wrap up.
Yeah, and they can stretch this out for a long time.
Right, and I don't know, I don't want to know. Well, I mean, it's TNA, so what's going to end up happening is somebody's contract is going to end up running out, and they're not going to renew it, and they just have to drop the angle. That's how TNA works, but
yeah, that's true.
Until somebody's contract runs out and they have to drop the angle because they won't pay them an extra, $45 a show. This is really good.
They lost the Hardys when they had the titles. They just vanished.
There's been a lot of people just vanishing. EC3, Lashley, Bobby Roode. I mean, there's been over the last 6 months or so, they've dropped a lot of premium talent.
Yeah, but they still have some guys there who've been there forever. They still got James Storm somehow.
Abyss is still there. No, I think
Abyss is still there.
I think James Storm, because he's one of those guys that comes in and comes out. I don't think he's a full-time guy anymore. But he'll
But he
pop
never
back
fully
up.
jumped ship. Like, he went to NXT for a match, but he didn't fully jump ship.
Did you watch that Table for Three on the WWE Network with Jeff Jarrett, Road Dogg, and Elias Sampson?
I didn't, but that sounds ridiculous.
Okay, they originally wrote that AJ Styles theme song. Guess who they wrote that for?
Who?
James Storm.
Whoa! What,
yeah, they wrote that
Get Ready
song.
To Fly thing?
No. The AJ's current theme.
Oh, what, really?
They don't want none. Yeah, they wrote that for James Storm, and James Storm didn't like it. And said no. And then they gave it to AJ.
I totally see James Storm having that.
That would fucking, like, imagine
that's a great theme. That's a great, it works super well.
Imagine you're a new guy in a company, trying to make a good impression, whatever. They go through the effort of going through all of the production house and whatever money's wrapped up in this, and they do a really cool song for you. That's a really high production value thing. And
yeah,
you
it's
turn
like a
it down.
superstar level song. Like that.
That's not a good first look for somebody trying to get into a company either.
So wait. So they've been sitting on that song for that long?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. I thought, I didn't think they'd just do something like that. They'd be like, well, we got an entrance theme that was supposed to be for James Storm. We've had it for like 4 or 5 years. Here you go, AJ. And you're just like, oh, I'm going to like this.
And it rules, yeah.
Yeah. I personally like AJ's TNA theme better, but the WWE theme's really cool.
They're all good. There was an AJ Styles documentary on the WWE Network this week. Bruce Pritchard has a show where he does, a former producer, Bruce Pritchard, has a podcast that is 1,000,000 times more popular than this one. Popular enough to the point where the WWE Network gave him his own show. So he has a weekly show.
Is that our dream, Dave? Is that where we want to end up on the WWE
Network? We might end up on the Global Wrestling Network. We could go to TNA's streaming thing. I think that's our ceiling. But
I feel you.
They're doing this show on AJ Styles, and they're using these extended clips from TNA, just like here this is Final Resolution 2012 or whatever, and they're talking about it, and they're showing these extended clips. And in the past, they've shown pictures or they've shown a little itty bitty clip, but this was a full-fledged hour-and-a-half documentary-esque production focusing on a guy's years in TNA. I think that they secretly have some kind of ownership interest in TNA now.
Yeah, they can clearly use whatever they want.
Right, and I'm sure that they have some kind of a licensing agreement, or, we'll promote your streaming thing, or maybe we'll give you a few bucks, but these were clips extended to the point where it's like, okay, well, part of, the whole value of us having this tape library for our streaming thing is you've got to subscribe to our streaming thing to see the tape library. Mm-hmm. So if you're just giving WWE huge chunks of content to use to make documentaries about your guys, I don't really see the upside from TNA's perspective to allow them to do this. I think they have some kind of ownership stake in Impact.
Yeah, and I think that's cool. I think that them doing that is best for business, because nobody, even the most casual WWE fans, they know about TNA. They probably don't know about New Japan or Ring of Honor, but they at least know TNA. So I think if they put Impact's like old library of tapes on the network, I think that would get a lot of new subscribers, because old TNA had some good shit. I think it'd be beneficial for them to just go all in with it.
There was a rumor a couple of years ago when Billy Corgan,
that they were going to buy all the tapes.
Right. When Billy Corgan was looking like he was going to get the company, the rumor was that they would sell off the tape library to WWE, and they would keep, the rings and the trademarks and whatever, the contracts of the wrestlers, whatever else you buy when you get TNA, which I think would have made a lot of sense, because there's been so much turnover in TNA that the people that are on those tapes, like, they're not in TNA anymore. None of them are, except for Abyss.
Yeah, dude, there's some big guys who have been in TNA for little points in time. CM Punk was in TNA. Okada was in TNA. So, like, a bunch of New Japan guys were in TNA.
They did nothing with Okada.
They did. If you look at pictures of Okada in TNA, he looks like the Happy Meal version of what he is today. He was doing a parody of the Green Hornet sidekick. Oh yeah. What's his
Okado.
Kato, yeah, there.
Yeah.
Oh, Kato, is that what they called him?
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
bizarre.
They called him Okato, and he was always getting the shit kicked out of him by the Pope D'Angelo De Niro. At one point, he was kidnapped by the Pope. That's kind of all I remember from Okato's run in TNA.
The classic Okato Pope feud.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. The Pope sucked, dude. That guy sucked dick.
He was a good character.
Yeah, he was charismatic, couldn't wrestle.
Good talker, yeah, and it all fell apart in the ring unless he was actively wrestling AJ Styles, and even then it wasn't all that good.
Oh shit, he had a feud with, I think it was Devon, where the Pope took his kids.
Yes.
He was fighting over Devon, and Devon's kids didn't like Devon, and they were like, we want the Pope to be our dad. So they had a match, and then Devon lost his kids to the Pope.
That is Vince Russo 101, though. You bring in a bunch of characters on screen who we have no context for. They didn't exist before this. Just one day, Devon Dudley has these children that he can't stop talking about, and then two weeks later, and they don't love him because Vince Russo's family doesn't love him. So, and then 2 weeks later, Devon Dudley steals his family.
That's great. I love TNA. But think, we could see that on the network. Wouldn't that be lovely?
That would be pretty cool. And for some reason, even on TNA streaming thing, which I had for the free month, and then did not renew because it's TNA streaming thing. You know who
wants to watch that?
That's not worth a separate fee. But even they don't have any of the Impact on Spike stuff. They have all of the pay-per-views. They have the early Impacts that were on Fox Sports. They've got the stuff that was on Destination America and wherever the fuck they are now. Pop TV.
Pop TV.
Yeah. But they don't... So I don't know if, Spike has a claim that they own some of that footage or what, but...
It's probably a really messy contract, to get through.
It could be, but they have everything else. They have every other Impact besides the Spike TV, which was the longest time and the relevant time because that's when they had all the stars. Mm-hmm. Hulk Hogan's on a lot of those tapes. That stuff should exist somewhere.
Yeah, although they probably don't want to buy the Gold Dust TNA incarnation. They probably don't want that.
Black Rain?
Which I finally saw clips of. Oh my god, that is just as terrible as you described it. He looks disgusting.
Isn't he so fat?
Yeah, and
He's got to be 350 pounds. He's enormous.
Yeah, he looked more like Dusty than Goldust.
And he's wearing this outfit, which is supposed to be I'm dark Goldust, I'm crazy. But he's just he looks like he's wearing a trash bag.
It's really funny. I couldn't find the rat on the pole match.
I couldn't find that either. I actively searched for that one night. I couldn't find it either, but
there's no record of it. It's
Misty the Rat. Misty the Rat. He had a rat on the pole match against Frankie Kazarian on what I'm pretty sure was an Impact. So I'm gonna find this, and I will be the one to upload this.
Let's talk about some WWE related news. CM Punk had a really wild week last week. He wins his trial against the Doctor. Did we talk about this last week?
A little bit.
Oh, okay, so we can skip that. But that weekend he got his ass kicked in another UFC match. I'll give him this. He fared a lot better than the first time. He got to round 3. He survived. I couldn't find it online, so I had to FaceTime Reese while he was watching it. He just had to hold his phone in front of the computer. And the whole time he was like, "Why do you like this guy?" he's just because CM Punk, by God, he's got heart. I think he earned a lot of people's respect from this stuff, but he is not a good fighter, and it's really sad.
CM Punk is not even a good athlete. he's not a guy who came from, because, you know, a lot of wrestlers, they come from a background in real, legitimate athletics. Mm-hmm. They're an amateur wrestler, or they're a football player. They've done something. CM Punk didn't play high school baseball.
No, like, he was doing pro wrestling in high school. He started when he was like 16.
CM Punk does not have innate athletic ability. Even doing wrestling. Like, there was an era where, after the Macho Man died, Punk started doing the top rope elbow in tribute. Have you ever seen a worse top rope elbow thrown than CM Punk's elbow drop?
I think it was a fine-looking elbow drop. He just doesn't have that big of an elbow, so it doesn't look painful.
But, like, he couldn't really even do, like, the full jump. He's just, what he does is, like, his karate stuff in the ring. It always looked kind of clunky. CM Punk is an excellent talker. He's a great personality. He's a great promoter. He's not a natural athlete.
No, but I still think he's a great pro wrestler. I think he's got, in a pro wrestling ring, he is a great athlete. I think he's had like 20 really great hour-long plus matches. He's
Jerry
a great
Lawler
wrestler.
Had some of the greatest matches of all time. Jerry Lawler is one of the best workers ever.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't call Jerry Lawler like an elite athlete. John Cena is very
Punk's
strong,
but
more
athletic.
I wouldn't call him an elite athlete.
You said you saw him fight Samoa Joe in one of those matches.
Yeah, it was great. Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
How could you watch that match and then say CM Punk's not a great wrestler? I believe he's not a great fighter.
I'm not saying. Oh, no. I would never say that CM Punk's not a great wrestler. I think he's an excellent wrestler. I think that there's a lot more to wrestling than executing the moves, than being able to flawlessly do flips and tumbles and do like excellent looking kicks. I think that there's a lot more to wrestling than just execution and athletics. Like there are guys who are amazing athletes. Billy Gunn.
Yeah, he's no Ricochet, obviously.
Mr. Ass, Billy Gunn, right, is an incredible athlete. 6'6", jacked, the drop kicks that guy could throw. I mean, he was an insane athlete, but not a great wrestler.
He didn't have that. The it factor. But CM Punk, okay, so we're comparing him to Jerry Lawler. Those matches Punk put on with Joe are really athletic. He put together some pretty good sequences. And I wouldn't say he isn't athletic. I think that's the wrong term. I'd say he's a bad fighter because in that context he doesn't have what Reese called fight sense. But in the pro wrestling ring, he has a great sense. And I think he's pretty athletic. Yeah, some of his stuff looks kind of clumsy, but that's kind of part of his shtick. Like, I think he throws some decent strikes in wrestling. Obviously, not in a real fight. His high kicks were pretty good in wrestling. Like he made them look pretty good.
They looked pretty good in a wrestling context.
Yeah, of course, definitely. But not
actually, like you actually have to do these kicks functionally. These kicks
obviously
have to be functional. Like that's a whole other ball game. And just like if you just CM Punk standing next to this Mike Jackson, this the guy, I don't even know if that's his name. I think that's his name. The guy who killed him at the pay-per-view.
Apparently terrible. He was fired from the UFC after that fight because he didn't finish him.
Well, he just he played around with him the whole thing because there was no point during that fight that CM Punk looked any kind of a threat.
In the first round, he looked okay, but he got tired by the end of the round, and it was all
because
down.
He's not an athlete. Like, by the end of that first round, when he's in there with a real, legitimate athlete, and this Mike Jackson, he's an 0-1 fighter. So it's not like he's some star guy or some excellent fighter. They kind of got him the worst guy they could. But at the very least, this guy is a natural athlete. Yeah. And just everything that this guy did was so far superior to what CM Punk can do, just kind of based on genetics. Just them standing next to each other. One looked like a professional athlete, and the other one looked like, as Triple H used to say, you know, the grill cook at the Waffle House. Like, CM Punk just looks like he's like a kind of a skinny fat. He's just a guy, and like an incredible wrestler, an incredible talker, and someone who has had wars inside of a wrestling ring that are tremendously entertaining. But somebody who's not a natural athlete and trying to pick up high level martial arts, the highest level of martial arts, pushing 40. It's it's not a recipe for a competent performance.
Yeah, it kind of made wrestling look bad because people are saying some mighty harsh shit about pro wrestling, and it makes me kind of bummed out because like there are a lot of wrestlers in the WWE right now who would be pretty good MMA fighters. Just CM Punk was not the correct representation of that.
I don't know. I think that they could. I don't know. Maybe they could be fighters. Possibly. Maybe they couldn't. But it's just like it's different.
Well, it's been done before. Like people like Brock did it.
Well, right, but Brock Lesnar was a NCAA champion amateur wrestler.
Yeah, but people on the Raw roster have those kinds of credentials. I mean, Chad Gable's an Olympic wrestler.
He needs to go to MMA. I don't see, because he was great in NXT and that tag team.
Oh, yeah.
They do nothing with him in WWE. I think if he's a guy who could, tap somebody out for real, he needs to go do that.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to push him.
Yeah. Well, all right. So we're at about 45 minutes. Let's do some predictions. How about...
That was a good debate. I'm exhausted. Yeah, let's talk about Money in the Bank.
That was a quality discussion of fake and gay wrestling versus real and tough fighting. Let's look at the Money in the Bank card. I don't know how, if these matches are going to go on in this order. This is how they're ranked on Wikipedia. Shouts out, #Wikipedia. For the pre-show, we got the Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan, versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. This is on the pre-show, so who gives a shit? What do you think?
I'm gonna go the Club because I hate the Bludgeon Brothers outfits. I don't like their big toy mallets. I think they're cool.
I like cool Luke Harper.
Those guys. Really... It's cool to put those guys together, but I don't. The way that they're packaged, I don't see anything.
It's a little corny. I don't think the Club are gonna win. I think if they were gonna win, it would have been on the main show. The opening match is apparently the women's Money in the Bank. Ember Moon versus Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch versus Natalya versus Lana versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks.
This is a rare match where it's all hotties. I'd have sex with all of these girls.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I would say the winner on this one, the fans.
The fans.
The people.
I'm going to say, I think Natalya is going to win because she's been having this thing with Ronda Rousey, who's probably going to win the title. So they're probably going to have a feud. I like Natalya. Kind of boring that she's going to win.
God, spend all that money on Ronda Rousey, and the first feuds are Nia Jax and Natalya?
Yeah, I think if Sasha Banks wanted to be cool, I think she and Ronda Rousey would have a cool match. Alexa Bliss would be cool because she's badass and she's hot. Basically any of them besides Natalya or Lana, because Lana can't wrestle. And I'm kind of worried about her, dude. I'm worried she's going to get hurt in this match.
Why isn't she just with Rusev on television? That was a good package. They're married.
They're still kind of packaged together. It's like right now it's like Lana, Aiden English, and Rusev, and they're all insanely over. Lana's going to get the biggest pop of that match because she's connected to Rusev.
She's married to Rusev.
Rusev Day is still so over, and they're never going to... He's not even on the card. Actually, no, he is. Yeah, he's in the next match. So who do you think's going to win? You said the fans.
The fans.
All right. Bravo.
I thought you were fapping. I thought that was a kind of thing.
The third match is the men's Money in the Bank. Braun Strowman versus Finn Balor versus The Miz, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and one member of the New Day. Probably Biggie. This is a tough one because any one of them could win and it would be cool.
Yeah,
you know?
actually.
Because if one of the members of the New Day won, they could do Freebird rules and they could all have the briefcase. And you never know who's going to cash it in. If Braun Strowman wins, that's awesome because it's Braun Strowman. He could beat the shit out of Lesnar. Basically, I think it needs to be someone from Raw because the plans for SummerSlam are Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Again. So if Roman Reigns wins that match at SummerSlam, and if he leaves SummerSlam with that title, people are going to be furious. So it's got to be someone from Raw. It's probably not going to be Balor. I love Balor. I think he needs it the most. I don't think he'll get it. I think it's most likely going to be Kevin Owens. That's my pick. But it could easily be someone like The Miz because The Miz could win the title and then have a great feud with Daniel Bryan that they've been teasing for years. Anything could happen.
I'm going Samoa Joe. I
love that choice because that would be amazing if he won.
I like the visual of him with that briefcase.
Yeah.
Just visualizing that in my head, I think it looks cool. And that's 90% of wrestling.
Yeah. And Samoa Joe, he's tough as fuck. To the point where people like him and Braun Strowman, they don't really need the briefcase to get title shots. But who cares? Give it to him anyway. I think it'd be cool if Samoa Joe won the briefcase and then just said, hey, I'm going to fight the champion on this date, and I'm going to choke you out, and I'm going to win. That'd be cool. So you're saying Samoa Joe, I'm saying Kevin Owens. Neither of us will probably be right. Match number 4, if this match doesn't go on last, I think it's stupid. It's the WWE Championship match, AJ Styles, Nakamura, last man standing match. I think this will finally be the match that they have where it'll be amazing.
I'm just tired of this. I'm tired of these guys. I'm tired of the low blows. I'm tired. Just wear a cup. I'm tired. And it's sad to be to a point where I'm tired of AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I want them to do something else. I hope this is the last one. I'm just not feeling it. We've seen it. It never ends.
Okay, so did you see the match that they had on SmackDown a couple weeks ago?
I did not.
It was really good. They're Nakamura. The ending was really cool because they teased a DQ. So AJ and Nakamura are fighting. AJ accidentally distracts the ref, and then Shinsuke acts like he just got low blowed, and it looks like the ref's going to DQ the match. But when he turns around, Nakamura low blows AJ, hits him with the suplex, then Kinshasa, and he wins. It was really cool. And that was a good match. And I think last man standing, I think it'll be a good match. I think Nakamura needs to win the title, though, or else he's going to look like a dumbass. Or Nakamura or AJ could win, and then maybe the Money in the Bank guy cashes in. That'd be cool. The Miz could do it, or Joe or whatever.
I think they're going to keep rolling with AJ. I think, there's a lot of momentum behind AJ right now. And just watching stuff on the network, there's a lot of new AJ content on the network. So I think AJ's going to keep the belt.
Yeah, AJ's putting together a Hall of Fame career, which he already has at this point. He had a Hall of Fame career walking into the WWE, but now he's just elevated himself to this level where no one can touch him in the ring. Not even Nakamura, who also has a Hall of Fame worthy career. I'm gonna say Nakamura, but who the fuck knows? Next we got Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey, right?
Yeah, they gave her a lot of money. If if Nia Jax walks out of this show with that belt, Fox needs to ask for their money back. Yeah. So Ronda Rousey has to win the belt.
Do you think it'll be the main event?
Yes, I do.
That's going to be a boring match.
Yeah, probably.
I honestly hope it's Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal as the main event, just for the reaction.
He's the big dog.
Next, we got Carmella versus Asuka. I'm going to say Asuka because if she loses again, she's going to look like a chump. And Carmella sucks.
Yeah, Carmella, like she really can't go in the ring. I think they've gotten the mileage out of her with the belt that they can. Yeah, Asuka's going to get it.
Yeah, she can do the moonwalk, and she's cute, and she's a good talker. That's about it.
Have you ever seen her without makeup?
No.
She's, like, stunningly beautiful. Like, she looks great on TV, but just naturally, just hanging out, oh my God.
I just don't like the goddamn Staten Island accent.
I like everything about Carmella, including the Staten Island accent.
You know who I think is hotter than Carmella? Roman Reigns, the big dog, facing Jinder Mahal is probably... It's going to be the worst match of the card. Like,
he's the big dog. It's going to be great.
No, but he's fighting Jinder. The only person who's gotten a good match out of Jinder was AJ, and Roman Reigns is not AJ.
Tall, handsome, long hair, big dog.
Oh, well, he's going to win. Rough.
Oh,
dude, I feel like a sadist that I hope this is the main event because people will leave. People will shit all over Roman Reigns. And it would rule. Really
I don't think it will be the main event, but that's never stopped me from hoping for something.
Yeah. I will be flabbergasted if it's the main event. Because, like, at that point, Vince, what crack are you smoking? Next, we got Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. Poor Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, Lashley, who came off of a really good run in TNA, is very much struggling. Although, I did watch a segment from Raw. I don't know if it was this week or last week, but Sami Zayn had constructed, like, this obstacle course.
Oh, yeah, Bobby Lashley, like, destroyed it.
Lashley is now that guy's an athlete. He looked incredible on that obstacle course.
Yeah, like he killed that obstacle course, and then Sami Zayn beat him up. It was all right. The obstacle course was cool, but like it's a lose-lose because like if Bobby Lashley wins, you're gonna be like, well, fuck Sami Zayn. Who they hate Sami Zayn, but like if Sami wins, why'd they bring in Lashley?
Yeah, if Sami wins, you just have to cut Lashley. Like, at this point...
He's already been a failure. That segment was passable, and that was, like, the first segment that he's done back.
But you bring this guy in as a big-time babyface. I'm assuming they're giving him a nice chunk of money. He skipped NXT. Like, yeah, if he loses this match to Sami Zayn, you just have to release him. And I don't think they're going to give up on a high-profile guy that quickly. So, yeah, Lashley's going to get the W.
For sure. Seth Rollins versus Elias. Seth Rollins, by God, he's been having some great-ass matches. I think he'll probably have a pretty good match with Elias, but he's going to win. Elias ain't getting that title.
I would love to see Elias with the belt. I think he's a really interesting character. I think that he's one of the few guys with a really defined character, but they don't... and they plug him into spots... But in those spots, he's always losing and getting beat up. They don't do a lot with him. I think they're going to use this opportunity to try to elevate him, give him the belt, and give him some legitimacy and credibility.
That's fair. I think I didn't give a shit about Elias before he popped up on Raw. But, man, he's been doing some really great work. That shit at WrestleMania where everybody thought Undertaker was going to come out, but then Elias came out. It was so funny.
He's got stage presence, and he's a guy. Yeah. He was in developmental forever.
Yeah,
until they figured out the Elias thing. And he's a guy he's not nervous out there. He's not afraid. He looks perfectly comfortable. Just the way he stands, he comes across like a main event guy. He clearly can't back that up in the ring.
Oh, no.
But just his presence
character-wise, he's got it.
Interviews, his character. Yeah, I hope that they give him the belt and try to establish him a little bit more on TV.
All right, that's fair. Although I do think they're going to keep Seth Rollins with the title because Dean Ambrose is coming back soon, and he's going to be a heel, and that'll be dope, and he's going to take that title.
Is Ambrose Raw or SmackDown?
He's a Raw guy.
He's Raw? Okay.
So, I think if Ambrose comes back and goes heel, that's one of my most anticipated things for this year. It's because we've seen all the Shield members go heel. Well, I know we haven't. We've seen Rollins have a really good heel run. Roman ain't gonna be a heel, but think what Ambrose could do as a heel. When he was cutting those promos in the Shield as a heel, he had like a crazy character going on. It was really cool. I think heel Ambrose is the way to go. And I think he should take some barbed wire shots to the head, because that's what he's best at. The final match for the card is Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. Big Cass. Realest guy in the room, Big Cass, 7 feet tall. If he wins, I'm going to be pissed. Daniel Bryan needs to wrap this feud up.
I'm so confused by this whole thing, because if the whole thing about Daniel Bryan is we're very scared that he's going to break his brain after every match, he has to go through all of this testing and make sure that his brain wasn't broken. So it seems to me like they don't have a lot of faith in him staying healthy. If you don't have a lot of faith in him staying healthy, it seems like every single one of these matches then is very important and very crucial, because that's the mileage that you can get out of Daniel Bryan. Why are you wasting any of these matches, these limited matches that you feel that he has, on a lower mid-card thing with Big Cass? If you're going to have him wrestling, he should be in the main event.
Yeah, you would think. And he's gotten close. He got to fight Joe. He got to fight AJ. Not like finishing matches, but like he got to have some matches, and you got to see glimpses of the great matches that he's going to have. What I think is going to happen, I think he's going to go over Cass. I think I'm rethinking my pick for Money in the Bank. I think Bryan's going to go over. Miz is going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, cash it in on AJ, and then Daniel Bryan and Miz are going to feud for the title, and that'll be amazing.
The show looks, I guess it looks pretty interesting. There's some intrigue there.
It does, but as usual, I think NXT is going to be a better show, because NXT only has 5 matches. So 5 matches in, I think, 2.5 hours. They're going to have some pretty great shit. I'm really looking forward to the Ricochet Velveteen Dream match. Gargano and Ciampa are going to have another great match. Aleister Black and Lars Sullivan will probably have an alright match. And I'm more excited for that, honestly.
Is EC3 on the show? Does he have a match?
No, sadly. Isn't that stupid? Because EC3's going to main, dude. They're not going to keep EC3 around for that long. He's ready.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah, pretty good show this week.